Alright, we are back once more. I think this is a kind of interesting pack. There's nothing here that's as strong as it is in some of the other packs we've opened. Pyre Giant is, it's okay getting a little bit of damage, but I think it's kind of just worse than most of the other aggressive creatures, and I'm honestly not as big on the aggressive creatures as some people. Om Nom Nom is a cool and interesting card. It would be great for a fun deck. I'm not sure it would be great for a good deck. Master of Elements is probably the strongest card in the pack. It's not as good as it is in Constructed, but it can definitely be a very strong card. Scout Drone's okay, but it's one of those cards that requires wasting a play almost, because it's barely anything at level 1. Being free is nice, but the problem is kind of like a lot of the free spells. I don't feel like it's worth playing just to level unless the board is going super slowly. And even then, you generally rather level a more normal creature. So it can be fine, but it's awfully conditional. And again, Restless Wanderers requires a very specific deck, which we can't make in draft. So, Deep Branch Ancient is the other most powerful card, aside from Master of Elements. It's very specific, though. Not only does it require Uteran, it may also want Nekrium, just because that's the only other way to get multiple bodies from a single creature. And since the board has to be in a very specific state, you have to have at least 3 creatures at the start of your turn or whatever. It can be hard to get the payoff. So I feel like Master of Elements is stronger than Deep Branch Ancient. We could just take Om Nom Nom for a more silly, fun theme deck. I've messed with it a little bit, though. I think I'm going to go ahead and take Master of Elements. Even if we don't have the super spell heavy deck, the stats are at least fine on this. And I've been playing more spells lately and being okay with it. Stormcaller is definitely the most powerful card in the pack. I don't like leveling it early, but it's nice to have him play rank 2 and 3 despite being level 1. Okay, Tarsus Deathweaver is obviously the most powerful creature here, but it's also just a good... there are a lot of things that are good with it. This cannot be its best deck, however. Its best deck is definitely the Uteran Nekrium Swarm deck. However, with Master of Elements, I would rather cast the spells that are in Nekrium as well as Tempys. So I think Nekrium is what I want to be anyway. And the rest of these spells are pretty bad. So, we already have a Deathweaver. Fellwalker's better. These two are pretty bad. Lightning Spark is perfectly fine. That's definitely one of the spells I'm happy to play. Here, I think this could actually be a Pyre Song deck even, just because of the Master of Elements combos with it, and the Fellwalker combos with it. We definitely want to get lots of creatures out. So, however, I feel like Hulk and Cryomancer are actually more on par than I'd like to see. Spectre has been growing on me lately, however. But I think here I'm just going to take another Lightning Spark. It's just a reasonable removal spell. Okay. Nargath Bruiser is better than these other cards. It's very similar to Zombie Infantry, however, being able to choose whether you want the toughness altogether, or if you want to split it out, is a very nice benefit. It gives you a lot more flexibility. Second Master of Elements is definitely cementing us into this. We've already got 2 Lightning Sparks, so this is looking pretty good. Giving a creature aggressive would be okay, but Windcaller Shaman is just a fine, solid card. Grave Pact gets the nod here. Neither one is an amazing spell, but Grave Pact is at least good with Fellwalkers. Okay. Unrelenting Dead can be good. However, I think it's really just at least it's definitely mostly good in the deck where you have Uteran spells that can buff it and make it bigger. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take the Mystic here, actually. Necro Slime is a very good spell. A very good creature. It can grow. I think it's kind of a slightly worse Delver. Hungering Strike is maybe my favorite removal spell, however. How are we doing on spells? Not quite half. I think I will go ahead and take the Necro Slime, although I'll keep an eye out for spells and be a little more willing to take them than I normally am. Here, Wind Primordial is actually very good. But I'm a big fan of the Glen. I think I'm going to go ahead and take that. It's a close pick between those two, though. Bone Scythe Reaver is a very good creature that has a nice ability. Again, Grave Pact is better than Necrovive. Necrovive is pretty bad. Fellwalkers will take pretty highly here between the two Grave Pacts and the Deathweaver. Okay. Looking at this, Charnel Titan is reasonable. When it gets its ability off, it's particularly good. Rune-Scarred Zombie is actually growing on me. It does not combo with Grave Pact, at least as a target of Grave Pact. However, it does with both of our Lightning Sparks. We can use Grave Pact to sacrifice other things. I think this is slightly better than Titan. I would like Titan more if we had more of the removal that shrinks creatures, but right now we mostly just have the burn spells. Alright, Blightwalker can be good for a nice slow deck. We don't have a ton of movement creatures. The question is Blightwalker versus Banshee. Blightwalker requires being at the correct level. Banshee is just reasonable. I think I'm going to go ahead and... So, looking at these, you can kind of evaluate that they were going for the same basic leveling curve as the average creature. However, instead of being a 5-5 at level 1, a 10-10 at level 2, and a 19-19 at level 3, which is pretty normal, slightly above average maybe, they split it into the shrinking plus the power and toughness of the creature. So this is a above average creature if you get the value out of it. Blightwalker is done differently because it kind of has the Blightwalker's ability, which is the death touchy kind of thing. Blightwalker's stats are good. Often you can trade with something and still have a creature around. The problem is Blightwalker will never trade up as far as levels go. So if you go from player rank 1 to player rank 2, any player rank 2 creature can be played in front of it and pretty much eat it for free. I think I'm going to go ahead and take Banshee just because it's growing on me, and we'll see how it goes. So, Rune-Scarred Zombie versus second Mystic. I think Mystic is actually a better creature. Rune-Scarred Zombie goes well with if we have a lot of spells. I think that the correct pick here is Mystic. However, I would like to play the heavy spell deck with zombies as well as our Masters of Elements. So I figure this is our best chance to get that. Alright, Deathseeker works well with our Grave Pacts and our Deathweaver, so that's good. Okay, we're really getting the full-on standard, almost kind of bad version of the Nekrium Utera spell deck. Gonna grab the Static Shock. Lightning Brand is fine, but Static Shock is good in the deck that likes casting other spells. Zombie Infantry is fine. It many times would be the correct pick, but here I'm going to take as many sparks as I can. We're going to do this up. Alright, Deathweaver works fine with our recurring creature sub-theme. Deathweaver does work with Rune-Scarred Zombie, by the way, so this does go a little bit deeper. Darkheart Wanderer. Darkheart Wandering is a card that wants to be good in the spell deck. However, in these two color spell deck, Darkheart Wanderer is not as good. Darkheart Wanderer works better with these spells that will grow Darkheart Wanderer so that it can regenerate to something that's worth having. So the question is Lightning Brand, which is okay. or a Water Walker, which is just a decent creature. It's not amazing. Okay, so we've got, what, 5, 6 spells? I think I'll take the Water Walker, although I'm not huge on it as a creature. Necrotic Worm is good at level 3, but it's bad before that. I will take it again here, though. Okay, here I'll definitely take Contagion Surge and be happy for it. Lightning Brand is fine, but a little bit more removal is good, plus this becomes free, which works very, very well with the things like the Runes Guard zombies. Okay. Hungering Strike is maybe too many spells. I think I'll just go ahead and take another Windcaller Shaman. I do wish that we had more big creatures. Like, we have one Stormcaller, one Glutton. I'd like to have more creatures that can trade reasonably without having spells to buff. Yeah, I don't think we take the Hungering Strike here. We have an awful lot of spells already. I think I'll take the Shaman. Alright. Volcanic Giant is probably the best of these creatures. However, with double Death Weaver, I think Deathseeker is correct. Alright, I'm happy to pick up a Glen. The Call of the Week would be okay, but Call of the Week is less good in draft than it is in constructed. However, we'll take it here, because Nether Embrace is probably better than Disintegrate, but it's not worth it here. Rhymehorn Charger is good. It's good at getting trades early. So we have at least one more reasonable sized body to help support us while we do our crazy spell hijinks. I don't know how well this deck is going to go. I don't feel like I'm the best person at playing it. However, I'd really like to see it. So we'll check it out in Game 1. Be back in just a minute.